Well. How we doing today, Brent?
I'm feeling like I might have.
You not feeling so hot?
Yeah, I'm not feeling very good.
You look like shit,
Yeah,
but you always look like that.
generally. Yeah. So if I start looking good, then are you gonna get worried?
Yeah, I'd be worried if you start looking good. That's my concern.
Yeah. Today I had to leave my house, and I haven't left my house maybe in like 5 days.
Yeah.
Not by choice, just because I was actually sick, but not with any COVID related.
Yeah, it's not that you knew of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't leave my house for a few days.
Right.
And today I had to run into the office to pick up my work computer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just being around other people kind of made me start feeling sick.
Wait, so do you think this is just like mental?
I think so. I think I'm dehydrated. Maybe like I haven't drank enough water yet today.
Yeah.
And then being around people, where you start getting itchy.
Yeah. No.
No, you don't know about
You get
that?
itchy when you're around people?
No, but if somebody starts talking about lice and then your head starts getting itchy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, man, you're pretty remote where you are.
Now we are. Yeah, but I mean, there's still a lot of people here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not in the city anymore, but it's still like there's still a decent amount of people.
I mean, you'd just recently been traveling quite a bit.
Yeah. I was sick the past couple of weeks. I've been in airports, left and right.
So you might have it.
There's a good chance I have it right now. Like, you know what the problem is too, because it's like it's turning to spring. So
Yeah.
like I got that seasonal allergy bullshit that's starting to come around. So like every time I cough from an allergy, like my chest hurts and like my nose is runny, and I'm just kind of like, is this normal or what are we? And then I'm just I don't know. I think it's okay. The last airport I was in was more than 7 days ago, so I'm inching closer to that 14-day shit. But then I'm like, yeah, but what if I just ran into somebody in the supermarket or something that had it,
That's the thing. I don't think there's not enough people where I live that are like confirmed cases. Like we have, honestly, in my city, we have one confirmed case.
Yeah, but that's the
which
problem.
means there's probably so many unconfirmed,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So many travelers.
Right. Yeah. So many travelers to where you live, you fucking shithole town.
Lots of people traveling from the west side of town to the. Are you worried about getting it?
No,
No, me neither.
no. I already know someone that has it. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Dude I used to work with at the Buccaneers. He's not there anymore. I won't say his name just in case. But he told me he was like, yeah. He was like, I was in Europe, came home, not feeling so great. Called the doctor up, and they were like, oh, that certainly sounds like coronavirus to me. So they were like, you can't come in for 14 days. He said he went through it. He said he's like, I think he's probably like on day 8 or something now. It's painful cough, nagging fever, but overall it was like manageable. But what they say is like all of us, we're younger, healthier, who don't have respiratory or heart issues and shit like that. So it's, and I got little kids too, and they say like even like little kids like doesn't even faze them, you know. So it's more or less worry about my parents and in-laws, relatives, shit like that. People who are a little bit older that have to deal with the fucking the germs locking sights on them.
Yeah, like I kind of wish that I could get it right now. Find somebody, get it, and then isolate myself.
Dude, it's like that shit. Like when you're a kid, like when you
chicken pox.
Yeah, the chicken pox thing.
The chicken pox parties.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, man. I remember my parents taking us to a chicken pox party. I might have told you about this.
You did.
Our neighbor, like she lifted her shirt up and she had chicken pox. And I remember being, just getting the fuck away from her. Like, no.
So gross. They set up all these like scanning spots in New York where you can like go in and they'll check you and see if you have, coronavirus or whatever. But like, what if they set up like an alternate thing, right? where it's just like a bunch of people with coronavirus sitting in toll booths, and you just drive up and they just like spit in your face.
They check your vitals to make sure that you'll be good.
Yeah,
like, yeah, you'll probably make it.
Just get it over with. Just hit me now. Hit me now.
Yeah,
I don't want to wait. I don't want this shit to hit me in like June or July.
I think also like it sucks how many businesses are going to close over this.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, like what we do, we already can work remotely, and
yeah, but there's like clients and shit like that.
Yeah,
it's I mean, it's easy for it's so funny too, because like it's been a busy year, and even before this, I was thinking like how I haven't even left the house in like 3 or 4 weeks because I've just been head down, just like trying to get shit done, and but as soon as they say you're not supposed to, I'm just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
like it's the mindset and like the hysteria, and like everyone's just like, oh my god, we can't leave the house, and I'm just like, I never want to leave the house, and especially with fucking kids and the germs that the kids bring home. Like this doesn't really feel that much different to me because from like September to like April, we're in this same lockdown every year because it's always like stomach virus, flu, strep throat, pink eye, ear infections, like
pink eye.
Yeah, which
double pink eye.
And then there's always like the mystery ones. Like my daughter a couple of years ago had 105.4 fever for like a couple of days, and the doctor was like, just a weird virus, and it went away by itself. No other symptoms, just like super high fever, and that was it.
Just cooked her for a bit.
That's it. So I mean, maybe she doesn't remember certain letters in the alphabet anymore, but other than that, she's okay.
She didn't need those letters anyway.
Who needs those letters?
Yeah,
there's a W. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's sad to see businesses, I guess, closing over it. Yeah, I seen like a epidemiologist talking about it, how it would be nice if everyone could that was safe, could get it.
Yeah.
I think he was saying like it's actually a bad idea to close schools down and stuff because the kids should be getting it right now.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. And the funny thing is like if they say that it stays around for a while, right? If this is going to be a thing that happens yearly,
yeah,
then eventually we're going to have to all deal with it and develop immunities to it and shit like that. You know? Or get vaccination. A vaccine or something.
And that's like, what did they say? Like a year and a half out.
Yeah,
most likely, or something like that.
I think I saw that they did the first human test for a vaccine today in the United States. I don't know what the outcome was. I just saw that they did it.
Guy exploded.
Fucking grew a tail. I've been watching like all these like documentaries, these Australian documentaries, like Australian 60 Minutes and shit from like a month or two ago, from when it was a big deal in China and they were scared of it coming over to Australia, and and learning about where it came from. And I don't know if have you read up on this shit?
Are you talking like they suspect it came from the bat that was on top of something?
Yeah,
like some livestock or
yeah.
Whatever?
So what it was in case anybody doesn't know, not that I'm an expert or anything, but I've watched some YouTube videos, so I'm pretty much an expert.
Yeah. I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well put a doctor in front of my name at this point. So basically, what it is in China, and I know this shit is it's always like the cause of a lot of this stuff. They have these wet markets, they're called, and it's just like wildlife farmers and people who go across the globe and just like basically steal animals out of their environments and bring them back and try to sell them either for people to eat or to do God knows what with. Some of them are legal and a lot of them are illegal, and they're kind of like organized crime syndicates that kind of run them and shit, which is crazy. But what they do is they stick these animals, they could be fucking bears, in cages where their paws are like hanging out, and they're sick and they're diseased and they're just stacked on top of one another. And if one gets cut or starts like oozing some shit like pus, blood, whatever, it just goes from animal to animal to animal. And since they're from all different parts of the world, it's just like all these different diseases mixing with animals that don't have the right immunoresponse to deal with that type of shit because they're not.
It's just mutation and
it's just all that combines, and then you get these people who come over, and it's not even from like eating them or anything. They just handle them, and they get those germs on them, and you inhale them and shit, and it becomes a respiratory infection or whatever, and you're off to the races. but it's fucking scary. And then like the dude who discovered it, they arrested him because they didn't want it to get out
That's right.
Yeah.
And then he died a few days later.
Yeah, and then he died.
And he was young.
Yeah, he was.
He was young. They murdered that guy.
Oh, they definitely. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He didn't die from the disease. That guy died from a bullet to the head.
Yeah. They straight up murdered that dog.
It
was a
disease
doctor.
of lead in his brain.
Yeah. Yeah. He weighs too much in his brain. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I said this, I think, last podcast, which is like exciting times.
Yeah.
And I get it. People are, I mean, you've already experienced this as well. It's like
Yeah.
people are going to be angry at me for being like exciting times when like all these people are dying. But like,
God, how are you supposed to live? How are you supposed to live life if you can't just kind of like smirk at some shit like this? You know?
yeah. I mean, it's obviously horrible. I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
No, absolutely not.
But it's happening, so I'm going to fucking enjoy it.
You have to you got to make the best of it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I stare at car crashes all the time.
I mean, so does everybody though. That's why you get stuck in traffic. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like you know what the really surreal part about all this is? And I was thinking about this today. So like, say for instance, like fucking 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Like I lived through 9/11, and if someone from out of state comes to New York who is like fresh, they like I've had the conversation. What was it like on 9/11? What happened? Blah blah blah. And you're like, oh, it was crazy. It changed a lot of shit and blah, blah, blah. And sure, it had a world impact, but it has like a local impact,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a finite amount of people experience that, But with this, it's not like you can't say I was there for coronavirus. Like it's everybody was there. Fucking 7.5 billion people were there for coronavirus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the only people who haven't experienced it are the people that are dead or haven't been born yet. Everyone else
knows this shit is happening.
Yeah, we're all in, it's like you're not special. Like you can't like the people who love to have like the sob stories, like say for instance like the type of person where it's just like you went to high school with a kid that died, right?
Yeah.
Weren't friends with him. But you're like on Facebook, you're like, oh my God, blah blah blah, everybody feels sorry for me,
I hate that shit. Dude, I get so angry about that shit to the point where like I have friends that die, and it's like I would never write a Facebook message about that shit.
Of course not. Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah,
because it's not. It's that's not the right thing to do. But these people are looking for sympathies. They're looking for attention. They're looking for anything where someone can just like, how can I give you something that you're obviously lacking?
They're hijacking. That sympathy.
But no one can do that now.
No,
which is actually kind of nice.
Except for the people that do get coronavirus, and then I'm over here without it going.
Well, hold on a second. There's a good chance you do have it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Dude,
look
I am
sickly
feeling like shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like I was also watching one of these researchers saying that there's a good chance that over 60% of the population could get it.
Yeah. Actually, isn't that what they want, right? Like 60 to 70 or whatever.
Yeah.
Percent.
It's pretty wild.
Man. Can you imagine if it like Erin's in public health in like epidemiology and stuff, so
right.
I'm sure she fucking is, if she listens to this, which she doesn't listen to this, but
my wife doesn't listen either.
Yeah, she'll be like, oh my God,
yeah,
what the fuck are you guys even saying about this shit?
I'm sorry, are you a professional?
Questions about it. Yeah.
Listen, she could be a guest on here right now, and we could have an expert opinion, but we won't.
But no, that would derail us. Fucking
yeah, we don't want that.
Spewing nonsense.
Listen, I know you went to school for like 8 years or whatever it is, but I watched about 60 to 85 minutes of YouTube videos last night. So
here's the thing: she learned about a lot of stuff. We condensed all the information to learn about just specifically what's happening.
I learned about the important shit. All right,
not all the fucking math. And I don't need no definitions.
Yeah, I don't need that, man. I got the internet plus my 60 to 85 minutes of YouTube genius.
How do you think this is going to impact our industry?
Oh, I don't know.
In the next 6 months,
terribly.
Yeah,
it's gonna be late because we always get hit late.
Yeah.
I don't know. It fucking sucks. Like, I've already heard a lot of people lose clients.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you just kind of like counting the days until some bad shit happens.
I guess like, I won't be specific, but it's like, we're working on projects where I'm like, is this going to be around in 6 months?
I know. Yeah, no, it's scary. It's scary. There's
Yeah.
one of our clients was just opening up a store in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah.
But they want to move forward with it because they're like, let's get this shit done and ready so that when everyone's ready to open their doors, we're done.
They're going with it.
They're going to go for it.
Nice.
Which is nice. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The problem is, you have no idea how long this is going to take. Someone will say, oh, this will take 4 weeks. Then someone's just like, oh, it'll take fucking 32 weeks.
Yeah. I think, what are they saying? Like between 3 to 6 months. And then after that, we don't even know. Because it's not like the seasonal flu or whatever, right?
Right.
It's just.
Right. Because a lot of people, because some people at the beginning were just like, well, the warm weather will kill it off. And it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Why is it in Australia?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the funny part is that it seems like very easy to kill. Like everything I've seen, they're just like, just rub it down with alcohol and everything's fine.
What?
Yeah, like surfaces and shit like that. So if you have like over 60 to 70% like alcohol based, cleanser or something, apparently
Okay, I did see something about that. I was wondering if it's true.
I don't know, man. I could be fucking talking out of my ass. What do I know?
Just throw on a fucking one of those masks.
Just throw on a
paper
mask. Yeah, put it on backwards the way everybody does
it. Do you think that's how it works? Because if it only protects, yeah. You just throw it on backwards.
You put it on backwards. Easy. Piece of cake.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but you know what's really funny, though, is the amount of people who are kind of like stressing out working from home.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, too, because like I talk to people all the time, like once they start freelancing or whatever, and they have to work from home, and they're just like, I'm not used to being by myself. And it's really funny to see how many people can't handle being alone and working day to day alone.
Yeah.
It is a skill, man. Like I've been doing it for holy shit, over 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I started working alone in 2005, and I had to cut it because I couldn't handle it back then. But a couple years later, back at it, doing it. But you have to have that self-discipline. You have to know how to soak up human interaction when you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times it's just like, go get a sandwich, go do some grocery shopping, go do this, go do that. Just go outside, go your neighbors outside raking the leaves, go talk to them for a little bit. Just find like little ways to just get out and then just kind of soak up that humanity, and then you come back and you do your shit, and then you're done, and it's time to eat dinner and go to bed.
You know what? I never thought about that because this will be like my first week. It is kind of weird because like I could go into work probably, but they were like telling us all, don't come into work. Yeah. Come pick up your work computers, like for the foreseeable future, work from home.
Right.
And I know that I'm really good not being around people because I already don't really like people or interactions or anything like that. Yeah, it was funny. My mom was texting me and Aaron the other day, or no, today actually. And she's like, how are you guys handling like isolation or whatever? It's only been like 5 days. And Aaron said like, oh, we're really good at this.
Yeah.
We don't like people, so we're fine. So
it's funny too, because like all of us that work together, we're all remote anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like we don't have a specific location. Then my wife, when she works with us, she's here with me anyway, so she's here already. So there's work, and then my kids are here, and they're not going anywhere because what are they going to do? Drive away?
Oh man, how is that though? Like,
we've been doing the homeschooling thing this week already. It's what are we 2 days in? It's already brutal.
Did I tell you I was homeschooled from just till the like 1st to 3rd grade?
That actually explains a lot.
Yeah, the fundamental years of learning.
Why were you homeschooled?
We were just like building our house, moving.
Yeah,
so we just homeschooled.
That's
it took
weird.
my parents. My parents built their house by themselves. Hey,
good for them.
In Canada, in the cold winter.
Oh God.
Framed it. My dad framed it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But yeah.
Well, that's what you have to do to build a house, right?
Yeah, framed it, plumbed it all. I think he hired out electrical. Actually,
okay. All right.
Which would make sense.
Right.
Who wants to do that shit?
Yeah. I'd rather do electric than plumbing.
Yeah. Well, this is fresh plumbing.
That's true too.
Still. Yeah, you're not dealing with like dirty toilets.
Yeah, but you know what though? Water will destroy anything.
Yeah.
You let water go, man, it'll destroy anything and everything.
Yeah,
I'd rather
bring
in an expert to do that shit, man.
Oh, dude, you're totally right. Water does fuck everything up for being something that...
Leak will destroy everything. A tiny little leak will just rip apart your whole bottom part of your house.
Yeah.
Yep, black
mold. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
You gotta gut it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know what? Somebody messaged me the other day, because we had talked about this on the podcast where, kind of switching gears here, but we had talked about how we were working on projects, and I'd said that I'm kind of reaching that point now where, for the first time ever, and I know you've been doing this for a long time now, which is my sketch will be my final.
Yeah.
I finally reached that point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've done it on 2 projects, but they were asking if you had any advice on how do you reach that point where you're happy with your sketch and that's the one, that's what I'm going with. You're not refining anymore.
You have to be okay with things being as they are. Mm-hmm. I always talk about it, but the breakthrough for me was when I picked up a piece of printer paper and I just started drawing random shit. And if I didn't like it, I would draw it again and a couple of things and blah, 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 blah. And then when I was done filling up the paper, I would scan the paper in, take the pieces, kind of put them together and see what made sense. And as soon as I did that one time, I understood kind of an easier way to build a layout or to build a lockup or something like that. And it was just, it all kind of clicked. And I was just like, oh, none of this has to be perfect. I can just do it, throw it together, and it's already got a feeling to it, Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the breakthrough. And then after that, it was just a matter of kind of understanding how the ideas would translate from my head out into my hand and hitting, we always talk about, that first sketch where it has the most emotion, the most energy, blah, blah, blah. That's how it always, that's how it always comes out. But then, understanding it, as soon as you have that little bit of breakthrough, then that is when you can save all that time.
Yeah. It's I was talking to a writer that I work with occasionally, and she said, I showed her a music video that I'd actually showed you as well, where it's just shot with a camera. There's no structure to it.
Yeah.
And I said, why is this so neat?
Yeah.
And she said, I think it's because the viewer is getting to see something that they might not think they're allowed to see, a behind the scenes, if that makes sense.
Right.
So when you put together a sketch and that's your final and it's raw and has all that emotion, it kind of, you're giving somebody a chance to be part of it, if that makes sense. See something that they shouldn't.
That's always I feel that's how I was able to kind of build my style and build kind of a reputation for my style, was because it was so much more about putting the process on display.
Yes.
Instead of just this refined, every time I see a logo development, that's just you see this 4 gajillion different iterations where they tweak this and tweak that and do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just doesn't neither one of those feel better to me than the rest? And what happens? You always see the board of here are our sketches of the concepts, and they're all always better. Everything just always looks cooler and better, and it's just the iterations doesn't always make better artwork. I love kind of that initial burst, because that initial burst will always get you kind of that most interesting. Because it's not you're not sitting there, you're not nitpicking, you're not saying, well, this could be better, this could be better. It's when you're a human being and you stand in front of the mirror, you're a unique person. You have unique features. If you, I mean, people do this, but if it wasn't as cost prohibitive and as it could be, and you're just I don't like my ears, let's fix the ears. nose could be a little straighter here. Like my eyes, I wish they were like green instead of brown.
Those people end up looking like freaks.
Well, yeah, that's what happens because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not right. Like for a human, I mean, the more and more that you fuck with it to try and make something perfect, the worse it gets.
Yeah. It's weird because I feel like you just answered that question, which is like, how do you do a sketch, feel comfortable with it? I think there's 1,000 things you could do. And yeah, you could sit there and draw the 1,000 different versions. But why not just like do one that you are super proud of? Don't explore all the options.
Right.
Unless it's not working, right? But like just pick. And I guess you're really good at that, is knowing like what you know and what you like and what's going to work. Because there's a little bit of you in like everything you do, no matter what.
Right. And that's just it. And after a while, it just kind of comes with the territory because you just get used to like figuring out what that process is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
isn't that weird when you hit it? That's the process.
Yeah.
And then the next time you do it, I mean, I worked on a project the other night and I was asking you, I kept sending you versions and versions of it and I just couldn't fucking get it.
Yeah.
And then you sent me like a few reference photos and it was like, boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's all I needed.
Yeah.
So I guess, but I didn't like break the idea. You just got to stick with it.
Right. And that's what I do sometimes. Sometimes I get stuck and I'm like, this isn't working. And I'm just, instead of giving up, I just keep at it, just keep redrawing it. And then sometimes when I hit the wall, I'm just like, fuck it, and I redraw it. And then that one redraw is it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a matter of starting over because sometimes it's like a couple of lines or a couple of like, just like something that's laid out in a specific way that's holding you back from seeing the big picture. And then
actually, that's the advice you'd given me, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe just like restart, same idea, redraw it though.
Just do it over. Sometimes that's all you got to do is just to do it over again.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, it's one of the other things too is like sometimes working on logos, especially some of the more hand-drawn ones, I'll sit there and I want to come up with a bunch of different options, and once it's like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm not there, and I keep trying. Once I get like that last idea out, I don't feel the need to try anymore. Like once it's done, I just feel like I'm good. And then I bring everything into Illustrator or whatever, and I just start messing with it, and it's I can just start building a brand out of it. But like it's that there's always going to be a nagging feeling until you feel like you got all those different ideas out at once. And sometimes it's just like literally just like quick, like draw it up, be done, call it a day. Yeah. And that's it, but like for this, like for that type of thing, it's just get it out. And then I feel like, and then I'm done and I bring it until, and it just has like, it happens every single time. Like I just feel like I can take a deep breath. I feel like a load is off my shoulders. Once I get that last one out, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to keep exploring. I feel like I've explored enough.
Man, I feel like you do this as well, which is like, you're struggling with a project, and then all of a sudden you'll nail one.
Yeah.
And it starts you down this weird path where it's like they all just line up.
Yep.
All your concepts for that project.
Yeah, that happens a lot where it's just like the beginning, because you always have an idea of what you want it to be. So you try to make it what you want it to be right away. But that's not how it works. You can't just do that. Like it has to come out, and you have to follow that road to get to that thing. So it's like maybe, like to me, instead of iterating, I would rather just keep exploring, keep trying different things, because one of those is going to be more interesting than just like tweak, save, tweak, save, tweak. You know what I mean? Like that's boring to me. But like exploring the different characteristics and personalities and all that shit is where you get like the more interesting looking things, I think.
It's funny because looking back on any project that I'm happy with, and I wonder if this is similar for you, it's not to say I don't know what went right there, because you know why it worked, but that feeling of like hitting that point. Yeah. Every project you start, you'll get there, but you don't know how to get there. Right. And you also start to forget, like, you'll do like little things that you did on the last project and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I got to like work down this path.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a weird feeling.
It is, and it's like sometimes you feel like, especially sucks, and this happens a lot too, where it's like I know what the process is going to be, and I know how it's going to work. So you try to like sidestep it a little bit, but you can't because it's the way it has to be done.
Yeah.
You know, like one of the more recent brandings that we did, it was just like I was trying to do that. I was trying to skip over it. And just because I was like being lazy, and I was like, I know I got to do it this way, and blah, blah. I was like, but maybe I can just kind of jump over it, you know, and you can't. And then you just find yourself going back and then starting the way that you're supposed to anyway, and then it all comes out, and then you're good, and everybody's happy, you know?
Isn't it? Yeah, man, that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I get, maybe it's just like, just the way that you've trained your brain to work, you know. I keep every year or every whatever, you know, moment of time it takes for the brain to kind of learn and regenerate into like the fresh version of what it is. I keep getting more efficient. I know that.
Yeah.
I get more and more shit done in less and less time, and it's the quality doesn't suffer. I know that, but you know, it makes me wonder what it'll look like in 20 or 40 years or something like that. You know, am I going to sit there and be like, okay, I'm done, you know, or is it going to be the opposite?
That makes me think of that. I'm blanking on the artist name, Pablo Picasso. Yeah, man. Why did I blank on that one? Him sitting he was sitting in a coffee shop, like scribbling on napkins.
Oh, it's my favorite
like, hey, I'd love to buy that. Yeah,
I love it.
And he goes, cool, 45,000 or whatever he says, like some high number. Yeah. She goes, it took you 5 minutes, and he goes, no, it took me a lifetime of to get there.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's the perfect way to describe what we do.
Yeah,
you know, because especially like when people are just like, well, I could do that, and you go, okay, go ahead. But they can't, and they can't even copy what you did, let alone come up with it independently.
That's what's weird though, is sometimes you look at your finished work or any illustrator's finished work, something that's simple and refined, and that's always the shit that people go, I could do that.
Yeah,
because it's not complex.
Right.
But it's like that refined feature, like that takes a long time.
Well, it's also like when I was in the pinnacle of people knocking off my stuff, a lot of times people would be like, I know that they're ripping you off, but it doesn't look like you did it. And I would always just be like, it's because they're not educated in the way that I educate myself in order to get it to look like that. Like if I was doing some like vintage looking shit, I'm not looking at other people who draw vintage looking shit. I'm looking at actual vintage shit.
Yes.
You know?
That is the difference, right?
Yeah, you just go back and you just learn. And so many people just try to skip that step. And they're just like, well, here, I'm going to look at Instagram and hashtag vintage type, you know?
Yes.
Cool. I'm just going to copy all that shit now. But you know what? It's like, it's a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. Like every time that you just look at someone else's interpretation, it just degrades it. Only when you're trying to hit a specific area. If you're trying to build upon that and actually expand a style, that's a different story. But like, if you're like, I want to make this look like it's from the 1890s, let me look at what, you know, Billy Dumbass and, you know, West Virginia drew, you know, and it's like, okay, well, that kid's 16 years old and he was looking at what, you know, Roger McFuckface in Montana was drawing.
And maybe, you know what, that's kind of crazy, because I feel like at a point, like I definitely looked at your work and it was like, I want that. But you're totally right. It wasn't until I reached a point where it was like, I wasn't looking at your work. I was looking at like, like the originals and things like that. Like the exact, whatever you're trying to design, your reference material isn't, that designer.
Got to go to the source.
Yeah.
Always, because the other thing is too, is just like you look, okay, you're trying to do reference type. Like maybe that shit wasn't drawn. Maybe that shit was letterpress.
Yeah.
You know, and all those things add to the details of what makes it special looking. You know, so you're looking at it, you're like, okay, how do I interpret that? And should this shit actually be like legit printed for it to look the right way? Can I fake it? What can I do to make it look real or whatever? And that's just an example, but it's just like, you gotta put in the time. You gotta do the research if you want everything to look like you know what you're doing.
And I mean, I think you know this about my work, where I've kind of reached this point right now, and it's because it's working, but it's also because I guess it's what I care about and it's what I'm looking at, which is I don't really do a lot of like weird type. It's pretty much all block.
Yeah, right.
Sans serif
right
type right now.
Right.
And maybe that's like a lack of knowledge or whatever, but it seems to be what I'm working towards.
It's just like one of those things that you're into, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the shit that I was into 10 or 15 years ago, I don't have any interest in drawing now.
Yeah.
You know, because you get in those phases and you just draw it and you draw it and you draw it and you draw it and then you're sick of drawing it.
Yeah.
Like, I did that enough. Let me try something else.
Yeah.
Like, so much of my work right now is back on the computer. Like, I'm not even hand drawing that much shit anymore these days. I'm back on the computer again, like manipulating fonts and.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
yeah.
I bounce back. Like I'm in a different world again now, and it's just you know.
You're doing like layout and shit.
Yeah, a lot of layout, but I mean, it comes with the territory of just like, you know, like a branding studio. So
yeah.
it makes sense, but it's so fun. Like I'm not even missing it. I'm just like, it's what's right for the project.
Yeah.
You know?
That's funny because somebody asked me like, technically can't a lot of people like draw and stuff, and what's stopping them from choosing like another illustrator over John?
Right.
And I'm like, fundamentally though, like, and lots of people don't see this about you, is like you're a really good designer. And without illustration, without,
right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Just like graphic design.
That's, you know,
like,
that is something that I will always say I've always been, is a good designer.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that people, it's so funny, man. The shit that I was the worst at for my entire life up until, you know, very recently was illustration, t-shirt design, and logo design. That was like when I was younger, I was like, I suck at all three of these things. I will never be good at them. I don't understand what makes them good. And literally, like, that's what people know me for from, you know, the past 15 years or something like that, is those three things. And it's funny because it's like layout and stuff is what I've always been good at. That's the thing that's always come most natural to me. And it's
so funny.
Yeah, when I understood how to start using illustration illustration, lettering and stuff like that, I never used it as an illustrator, or like I'm not sitting here drawing like a piece, you know? I'm just using those things in place of clip art and fonts, and you know, like it was just hand drawn to use in a layout. It's just elements. It's not the piece.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the way I always used to look at it. And then, you know, there were some that came around, but like, yeah, I would always just, I'm designer first and all those things, second, third, fourth, 10th, you know?
Yeah. I haven't been doing it long enough to know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Cause you're a very good artist too. So it's like, that's a big part of what you do, because you're very good at sculpting a scene. You know,
is it weird that like that's what I always wanted to do, and now that I'm doing design and I'm watching like concept artists and things like that, I'm like, ugh, I would never want to sit there and paint reference art and stuff like that all day.
Yeah, no, that's not weird. I think it's like once you finally see, like, you know, behind the curtain, you're just like, eh. Like, I always wanted to be an animator.
Yeah, same.
Until I watched what animation was like. Like I took one of those tours when I was a kid, and I watched.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, like when they have like the 17 pieces of paper in between, and they're like
the
flipping.
3 fingers.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, no.
Dude, 30 minutes later, they have 3 frames of 9,000 that they have to do.
Yeah, right. I'm like, wow, that's not for me. That is so not for me.
Yeah.
Like I love Procreate now, because I literally just go like this and I drag the color into the outline, and now it's full.
Do you do that every time now?
Every time. Every time, it's so funny too, because like a lot of times I'll just skip pencils and go straight into inks, just so I can use the dropper in Procreate to get that look of the heavy blacks or the heavy color blocks and shit. You know, helps get the idea across a little bit better than me sitting there with a pencil going.
You know what?
You know,
going back to animation, I love animation for the fact that sometimes, which is funny because it's like I also say I would hate to be like a traditional animator.
Yeah.
Digital now and working like Procreate and Photoshop makes it way easier.
Right.
I love like that repetition where I can just get into like a groove and you're not thinking and you're just drawing.
Right.
That's awesome. Right. Which you do, I guess, every day anyways.
Yeah, I guess so. It's so funny though, because like the business, the studio business has changed so much over the past 3 or 4 years. Just trying to make that transition out of like people saying that you're a freelancer, and I'm like, not necessarily. It's not really what this is. Yeah. You know, and just trying to tell them this is more of like a studio agency type of business. Like it's not just me. There's other people doing shit. So doing that, like I'm doing more business stuff, take more meetings, travel a little bit more, you know, like work more on the business end of things, work more on the concept and the research end. And, you know, it's, but it's nice though, because I like being able to have all those, I like having a job that varies, you know, because when you're doing the same thing every day, even if it's cool shit, you still get bored.
Yeah.
You know, you still get frustrated by it. Where you're just like, I need to do something different. So this is nice. It's like, all right, this day I'm going to work on contracts. And then this day I'm going to work on illustrating title cards for a show or something. It's just like you're all over the board.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think that little John Contino would be happy with you?
Yeah.
Where you're at, what you're doing? So. Day to day?
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. I have a pretty good life. I feel like if I was a kid and I went into the future and saw where I ended up, I think I'd be like, nice job.
Do you want to talk about what you drive?
Oh, sure. Why not? You mean the anti-pandemic car?
Yeah, your anti-pandemic car.
Yeah, I got a Tesla.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's as good as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
I love it. So worth it. Dude, and it's also amazing that I got it. I have it like a little over a month now. Mm-hmm. What great timing. Oh man, what great timing. I haven't touched a gas pump in 4 or 5 weeks.
All those things are dirty, eh?
Yeah, they're disgusting. Every time I would go to a gas station, every single time I would feel like, oh my God, what did I just put in my hands?
Oh man, that's gross because now I've never thought about that.
How? Dude, how many people touch those things? And you know what people do in their cars, right? How many times you drive past somebody and their fucking hand is like halfway up their nose?
Yeah, that's true.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nasty.
Do you have to touch your steering wheel?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah. Yes, I do, but I don't have to if I don't want to.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. But I do. You could it's fun to drive.
Yeah, but it's also fun not to drive.
It's pretty freaky when you set it to like the auto drive mode.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
Feels like the robot might just kill you.
Especially like when you first set it, if you're driving, right? If you're driving on one lane and then the car's coming at you from the other lane and it's like a 2-lane street, as soon as you set it to auto drive, it like takes over and it starts moving the steering wheel, and it every single time it looks like it's going to jerk it into oncoming traffic.
Oh.
Every time. And I freak out and I put my hand on the steering wheel and then I got to start over again.
You know what? Elon Musk, man, he hates humanity, and he's going to program it, and one day it's just going to turn into oncoming. He's going to program them all. And every Tesla owner is just going to...
You know what? If Elon thinks that it's time for me to go, he's probably right.
Yeah, he's smarter than us.
He's done a pretty good job.
That's scary. What if somebody like that was like, hey, listen, it's time. I've looked at the research. It's time.
Then it's time.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like people haven't tried that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Every single cult.
Yeah. If the right person figures out it's time and is able to do it, then it was time. Then it was fate. It was destiny. That was the person that was going to end it all for humanity.
Think about all those wackos, right?
Yeah.
Like, end of the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What happens when one nails it?
One of them's dead
like
on.
Yeah, and there is like this huge pandemic. I also think about for the ones where like they were like, this is the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
And then they died.
Right.
Well, it was the end of the world for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they weren't
right.
wrong. Yeah. They don't know. As far as they're concerned, the world ended.
What about the ones who say it's going to be the end of the world? And then they're like, fuck. So they just they kill themselves instead. They're like, see? I was right.
How many of them were like, oh shit,
I better do this.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
That like how many of those dudes are alive from Heaven's Gate?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they update their website and stuff like that occasionally.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. How old were you when that happened? You were little though, right?
What year did it happen?
Late 90s?
Late 90s. I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah. I mean, I clearly remember. Like, I remember watching skits about it on Saturday Night Live.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Black jumpsuits. Was it black jumpsuits?
What did they have? I forget, but they had like the white Nikes or some shit, I think.
Yeah, the black and white Nikes.
Yeah.
I always want to say that they were wearing purple tracksuits, but I think it is in the autopsy photos. Not the autopsy photos, the crime scene photos, I guess. They put like purple sheets over them.
Oh, okay.
I don't so every time I think purple jumpsuits.
It's been a long time since I saw anything about that. I was really into like listening to like podcasts about cults for a while.
Yeah.
Last year and a half ago or so, like when my wife was pregnant with the little one.
That's when you were like, I got to get all this like crazy shit in.
Yeah, and it's so funny. After the baby was born, I was like, I'm good. It was like getting very morbid for a while. I was like, it's time to be happy.
I was telling you that the other day is you've become less angry.
Yeah, right.
You're happier all the time.
Yeah, I have a nice family.
I don't know if you're happier. You're tired.
I'm tired. It's different. It's different. I've always been a pretty happy person, even in my darkest days. I'm still cracking jokes and shit, but like I think at this point there's a couple of things. Number one, I'm a little older and a little wiser. I know what things to not get frustrated over.
Yeah.
Which is so funny too, because I was at the supermarket on Friday, like right after they declared like a national emergency.
Yeah.
I was so fucking mad at humanity.
Over that? Or
I was at the supermarket Thursday afternoon, and it was fully stocked. No one was panicking. Everything was fine. 12 hours later, you know what I mean? 18 hours later, whatever it was, national emergency. I go to the supermarket, completely wiped out. Everybody's losing their mind. Fucking pandemonium. Nothing was different. Nothing was different except someone said national emergency.
Yeah.
And it was chaos. And I just was so pissed off at everybody around me.
That's what's really weird is like the fact that all these grocery stores are just empty. With like the toilet paper thing really pissed me off because I didn't need
the toilet paper thing.
Yeah, man.
Every time I look at the symptoms, I'm like, I don't see anything about shitting your brains out.
Yeah. I think it was, did it have to do with Australia and the fires, I believe?
Is that what it was?
I think it was like a shortage or something.
Just like, we're going to be locked in our houses, and what are we going to do to wipe our asses?
You got running water? Like, it's not the end of the world.
Nah, you got a hose at your house?
Yeah, you got...
Everybody go outside, take turns blasting each other in the asshole. You'll be clean as a whistle. You'll be happy. And then when this is over, you're never going to buy toilet paper again. Everyone's going to be like, get the hose out. We're crystal clear over here.
Saturday night hose. Oh,
Before
man.
you go to work in the morning, hey, Brent, come here, hose me down real quick.
I had to Amazon it because I went to the store. I'm not running out, but I'm running low because I don't buy fucking 80 bags of toilet paper at a time.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I do.
Oh yeah.
But like literally every time I go to the supermarket, I'm always buying like the 36 pack and forgetting because it's not because like I'm hoarding it or whatever. It's always because I buy it because I think like, let me buy a shit ton of it so I don't have to keep buying it every time I go to the supermarket,
But you buy it every time you go to the supermarket.
And because I always forget. I do the same thing with spaghetti.
Fucking of course.
I always just buy fucking like 36 rolls of toilet paper and like 10 boxes of spaghetti because I feel like those are the two things I use the most.
But you know what? The supermarket can fucking handle that. You going once a week or once every 2 weeks and buying those items.
Right.
If you bought a fucking year's worth all at once, I don't know. Maybe we're going to be sorry in like 6 months.
I will tell you this one thing, and I will put this on record for as long as this podcast lives. When this whole thing started in China, my wife was like, I'm making a doomsday box. And I'm like, you are fucking crazy. And she was like, yeah, okay, let's see what happens. And I was like, no, it's never going to get that bad. And then like cut to like last week, and she's just like standing there tapping her foot like Sonic the Hedgehog.
What's in your doomsday box?
I don't know. It's probably just like a lot of spaghetti and toilet paper.
Oh. I will say this. The other day I went to the why do I want to say supermarket? That's not a fucking word we use here.
You don't use supermarket?
Grocery store.
We say grocery store too.
Oh, okay.
But do you not have supermarkets? Because that could be the thing. Supermarket is like an amped up grocery store.
Yeah, we got like Superstore. We got Costco. Would that be it?
I wouldn't call Costco a supermarket. I don't even know what the fuck. God knows what you have. You probably got some weird shit. Nah, I never heard of it.
Sobeys?
When you go into your grocery store, is it like fucking 25 aisles of food and household things?
Yeah.
That's a supermarket.
Oh, okay. We got supermarkets.
Yeah, you just don't use that word.
No, we just use grocery. I mean, yeah, no, we don't really use that word. But
dude, it could even just be like a fucking East Coast thing for all I know. There could be people on the other side of the country that don't even say that. I don't even know.
It sounds like, no, I've definitely heard it before. I just don't think grocery store.
What type of drink is like Coca-Cola and Pepsi?
We've done this before. To me, it's pop. To you, it's soda.
Okay. See, like it could be like one of those things.
Yeah. I guess maybe.
I feel like calling those drinks pop makes you sound like a fucking child. Like, I don't care how old you are, how tough you are. You're like, hey, let me get some pop. I'm like, you fucking loser.
See, I don't think anyone would ever say, hey, I really want some pop.
What do you say? Get me a pop?
No. I don't think, like, if somebody was like, what are these? And they laid out a whole bunch of different flavors. You go, that's pop.
That's pop. See, you sound like a 4-year-old.
But if you're ordering, you don't go, can I get a pop? You'd be like, can I get a Coke? You know what I mean? Can I get a Sprite?
I don't know, man, because people say soda. Like, let me get a soda.
But then are they like, what flavor?
Yeah, that's the follow-up question.
So why don't you just cut out the fucking middleman and just say, I'd like to get a Coke?
No, we're conversationalists, man.
Yeah. What a waste of time. We just got to cut out the soda pop.
There was only a way to do this where you didn't sound like a child and you didn't waste time.
I'm going to start, and I did kind of exercise this right, is I coughed at the grocery store and I didn't have to cough, but I just didn't want people near me. You just did it on
purpose to fuck with people?
Yeah. I was like...
Everybody scattered and you're like, haha, I got the toilet paper now.
Yeah. You know what? For the next 6 months, man, no one's coming around me. I'm going to fucking fake cough everywhere I go.
Oh, my God. My little one fake coughs all the time. She's been preparing. She's like, this is her World Series.
Does she fake cough to get out of things?
Yes. She fakes She fake coughs for like attention and to just like to like stop eating something that she doesn't like.
Not good.
Oh, what's the matter? And then she smirks, and I'm like, oh, you little asshole.
Oh man, that's smart. Well, you know, she just learned this now, and I also just learned this.
Yeah.
Once again, we're on the same exact page.
That's very good. That's good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but
moving forward, we're going to definitely be able to podcast a lot more.
You know, so far my schedule hasn't changed because we have a couple of long-term projects that, you know, knock on wood, I don't think they're affected by this. So I'm still pretty busy, like on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to be bored.
Yeah,
I don't want that to happen. So hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, if we could, I would love to be able to keep this shit up.
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
I think we will. Now, especially like I'm at home for now until the foreseeable future.
Yeah, maybe we could do some during the day, in the daylight.
Yeah,
with
I think we
energy.
could do some live ones during the day.
Yeah, we do some live ones. Get some people in, and yeah, 'cause, dude, everybody's at home. It's the difference.
Yeah.
Join us for live nose, and let's fucking answer your questions in real time.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, definitely. I
We've
think
done that a couple times before.
yeah, it's always a little weird because you're always like, oh, am I supposed to? What can I say and what can I not say?
Yeah.
But also now we don't even edit these, so
Yeah, we have. I don't think we haven't edited one in months and months and months.
yeah, we're prepped for live.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
I mean,
I would just have to keep a button on yours because God knows what's gonna come out of your mouth.
do I do some? Well, you know what? It's funny because I listened to our last podcast where during the podcast I was like, "Whoa, man, John, why the fuck are you saying this shit?"
Yeah.
And then I listened to it after, and it was actually just funny.
Yeah.
But during it, maybe it's because my mind just starts running.
Yeah, because it's all the shit that you would say in response to it.
Yeah.
It's your fault, not mine.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Dude, I am trained in the ways of pushing the envelope without breaking it.
Yeah,
Right.
You're right on the line.
I'm right on that line, man. I walk that line.
I go over the line every single day, I think.
Yeah, no, that's
just
true.
a little bit.
It's true. Yeah, it's not good. Maybe we'll do a couple of guests and shit too. It's you know what kind of sucks though. It's like everything is like coronavirus based right now. Everything's coronavirus topic. It's all anyone can talk about because this has never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
This is like unprecedented shit, and everyone's just like you can't get enough of it, even though you want to get enough of it. And then you got the depressing people who are just constantly pointing out how bad this is going to be for us in the future.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, every time you have like a bright and shiny perspective of this and you're like, you know what, we're going to come through it, everything's going to be okay. And they're like, not so fast. Take a look at these 6 articles I found on the internet, and I'm just like, just stop, I'm
into this. And I know it's going to offend some people. I'm excited to see what happens.
You're kind of a end of the world kind of guy, though.
Yeah.
Like you like to watch the world burn. Oh, wow,
yeah, I do. What the fuck?
You see my dog behind me?
Dog's got coronavirus.
I didn't know I had a dog.
That's just like a mutated coronavirus.
What the fuck? It just like popped off of my leg.
Yeah, I do like to watch the world burn.
Yeah, you're
and I'm okay with my world burning too. Is the thing. I'm not just like seeing it happen.
No. You're ready, man. I've seen you go through some shit where your world is burning, and you're like, it's fine. And then your response is always like, fuck me, right?
I think you do the same.
Oh, definitely. The only, honestly, the only thing that stops me from being completely like watch the world burn is that now I have kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. Like they're too young. And it's not even because they're just like my kids. It's just because like they haven't had the chance to go through and experience stuff yet. Like they're too little to have to deal with that shit. And the funny thing is too is like I looked at the little one yesterday, and my wife and I are like talking about like, okay, we got to do this and we got to do that and blah blah blah. And the baby is just like smiling at me. I go, you don't know what the fuck is happening right now, do you?
Which is kind of amazing.
She has no idea. And like even my oldest one, she knows it's like crazy, and she knows she has off of school like indefinitely, but she's psyched. She doesn't have to worry about anything. She's just like, okay, we're going to do homework with mommy, and then I'm going to go outside and play and watch movies on my iPad or whatever.
Dude, this is crazy. Me and your daughter are like living parallel lives right now.
I know that.
I'm like at home now, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of fucking sick. Other people are freaking out. I'm like,
ooh, cartoons.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't know if I've ever brought this up, but I was going through, I guess, like it doesn't really bother me, but some shitty stuff. And then it was like kind of working itself out. Yeah. And then I messaged you and I was like, yeah, things are getting back to normal.
Right.
And you're like, oh man, things are never going to be normal again.
No.
Like you're like, if things just get worse and worse and you just learn how to deal with them.
Yeah.
And it's funny because then it just did get worse and worse. And I was like, yeah, that's right. This is okay.
Dude,
like,
it's so crazy too. Cause like the past few years for us have been really, really tough. From a personal, like emotional perspective. Yeah. And the beginning of 2020 felt like it was finally starting to become a break.
Yeah.
And I really, really desperately needed, because we were going through like 5 years worth of really, really tough times.
Yeah.
And I really just so desperately needed a year of just like no bullshit, take it easy, like just like kind of getting through life, just like coasting for a little bit, just living day to day, normal schedule, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, nothing crazy, maybe see some family, maybe see some friends, but no big events, just like taking it easy. And it seemed like it was going down that path for, a month. And then that was that.
I feel like it's still going good.
Yeah, but like it's still a strain, this kind of thing. Yeah. And it's not even because of like within our four walls, it's everybody else. Because, it's constantly like, and the worst fucking part of it all is just even looking at the internet. Because you look at the internet and it's constant, just a barrage of misinformation and doomsday and whatever. And a lot of it comes from people who's, the sources that you're supposed to be able to trust too. And you're just like, I can't get anything out of this.
Yeah.
The only place I can trust is Australian documentaries on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's this whole thing. Like, like as much as I say I want to watch the world burn, it's like I see like it's affecting Aaron's like research and things like that. And like, so that sucks.
Yeah.
But also like, I know it's going to work. It's going to work out, man.
It'll be fine.
Because
whatever.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah. And to think like going back to like where it all started too, when you look at kind of the progression, like this, it just seems like there were so many missed opportunities to control it. It
always is, right?
Yeah.
I've seen people talking about that where it's like, unfortunately, it's big business that prevents a lot of that.
Well, it's like, here, perfect example. The scientist who found it, there was like 24 people who had it, and he identified it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, sorry, pal. Like, if those 24 people were just handled right when he was just like, found them, let's take care of this, this would not be a problem right now. I'd be watching the Yankees right now instead of talking to your dumbass.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to like this one epidemiologist was talking about masks in hospitals and stuff like that, and how their budget only allows them to stockpile like 50 days worth.
Right.
So it's like big business kind of is like preventing being prepared for situations like this. Yeah.
Yeah. All the people in power really fucked it up. And it's just like, it's not just here, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone
capitalism.
Just kinda, yeah. Is it? I don't know. It's not even capitalism. It's just, it's just people in power.
Yeah.
Because I hate to, I know people are just like, there's a lot of dirty words with capitalism for a lot of people these days, but fuck it, man. I like to work hard and take care of my family.
Oh, dude, every single system fucking sucks.
Yeah,
so.
it's the people who abuse it.
Yeah.
I mean, even like socialism and fucking communism had a good plan when they started.
Everything on paper fucking is really cool.
Right, exactly. But it all comes down to the individuals who mismanage it and turn it to shit.
Yeah.
If you had somebody doing a good job with it, then it would be great.
I don't think that that's something that anyone can handle though. Because I think me and you probably would be no different in those situations. It's like I'd ride the wave until...
Dude, people are selfish.
Yeah.
Every single human being is a selfish person. I don't care who you are. Yeah, you're all... Yeah. Everybody's selfish to a degree. Yeah. Like you can do things that aren't selfish, but when it comes to the... like it's all about self-preservation and survival of the fittest and all that shit. We're not that smart.
Yeah, what is that? There's like a study where it's like even... And I don't mean this politically, but even like a liberal mindset will resort to conservatism based on like survival. You have to.
It's we're all living creatures just trying to survive, And you can try to live an ideal life, but certain situations, man, it's just it turns people into animals, and you can see when that happens. Like when there's high stress things, it's just like when looting and shit happens, when riots happen, when people are bent to the point where they're about to break, like it doesn't matter what your ideals are. You just start to change. And then if you're a certain person in a certain situation and either money is in your face or maybe the removal of power or something like that, anytime you think you're going to lose something that you feel like is necessary for your life, you fight for it just naturally. And then sometimes it's really bad for everybody else.
But if it works out for you, I mean, that's what sucks. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at it. Like I said, I hate it. I hate everyone.
Oh, man. I wish there was something I could do that was really selfish right now that could work out for me.
And there's tons.
I know, right? What could it be? I'm going to say, after this is over, I'm going to make a list. I'm going to do those things.
I seen this tweet where the person said, well, you were all out buying toilet paper and face masks and Purell. I was buying chin-up bars, weight vests, and books or something, and it's like, I'm going to be a better me. Well, you guys are all just taking shits.
Except that person's going to be covered in shit. This person who's just like really smart with huge muscles and just completely smeared with shit.
Yeah.
That's what hey man. That guy chose the path he was going down.
Man, there's just so much like I don't understand. I still don't understand the toilet paper. It's making me more frustrated.
I don't know. There's so many other things. You know, like whenever there's like a hurricane around here, the stores like it's milk and bread disappear. Yeah, milk and bread because everyone just likes to make milk bread sandwiches. I guess.
Ugh, dip white bread into milk.
Yeah, you get a big bowl out. You pour all the milk in, and then you take the bread and you just dip it in, and you just eat the milk-soaked bread.
Yeah.
During a hurricane, that's what happens. Yeah, I just like it. Oh, wait, listen, can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
So I was talking about Friday, right? When like the national emergency was declared or whatever. So I went food shopping on Thursday. It was fine. Everything was cool. It was all good. Friday, we needed some shit for dinner, right? So that's why I ended up at the supermarket again Friday night, where it was like 5 o'clock or something. Probably the worst time I probably could have gone. I go in there, supermarket's empty. People are acting pretty normal. No one's like fighting over shit, but it was just like there were things gone that you would never expect to be gone. You know, things that were there that were in stock were just like, why doesn't anybody want this? Like there were so many tomatoes. I love tomatoes, man. Fuck it. I could live on tomatoes.
Yeah, dude. Great for your prostate.
Yeah, exactly. But so one of the first things was that like a lot of the stuff that I needed wasn't there. So I was like, shit, I should have bought this yesterday. I knew I should have bought it yesterday. So that was number one. Number two was I'm pretty sure I saw an ex-girlfriend in the aisle, and I spotted her. I was like, don't need that right now. Took a hard left, and then there was a group of juggalos.
Oh my, no way!
Trying to buy up all the wet dog food.
They eat it or what?
I don't know. Maybe right. So that was my experience at the supermarket. Now cut to my house, where my wife is trying to keep chaos in order. So she's trying to give the older one a bath. The younger one is in her little like walking scooter because she's like right on the cusp of learning to walk. So she's in a little walking scooter. So when my little one starts to cry, she instantly activates her gag reflex every time. So she doesn't cry a lot. It's very rare, but every time that she does, every time. Yeah. So my wife is in the bathroom with my oldest daughter, and the little one is in the walker in the next room, and she's trying to get the attention of my wife, right? So she starts yelling and screaming, instantly causes herself to projectile vomit everywhere because she just ate dinner, right? Instantly throws up everywhere. So my wife is like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. The one's in the bathtub. The other one's throwing up all over herself. It's getting stuck in all the cracks in the floors. The dog gets up, walks over, eats all the puke.
Problem solved.
Yeah, there you go. Piece of cake. So I get home with the remaining stuff that we needed to make our dinner with because my wife was she was like, fuck it, I'm just going to make tacos.
Yeah.
Right? So she starts making tacos. I got my tomatoes because there was plenty of them.
Wait, say it again.
Tomato.
Okay.
Yeah, don't fuck with me, you fucking Canadian asshole.
Tomato.
So she's cutting up the lettuce for the tacos. Some of the lettuce falls on the ground, so the dog runs over. I'm like, here he comes to save the day. Sniffs the lettuce, walks away.
Yeah, they don't like lettuce.
What the fuck? Yo, let me eat all that puke, but you can save that lettuce.
Dude, if the lettuce was warm, maybe.
He loved eating the puke. He was like, this is just a grade A. Top shelf puke.
Thank you.
But fresh, crispy lettuce from like a farm, no good.
Yeah.
No good. What an idiot.
Oh. You guys had tacos for dinner?
Yeah, we had tacos. Well, that was on Friday. That was when the end of the world was coming. We were like, what's a good end of the world food? Tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people said that.
They want tacos?
That everybody was just the end of the world. Let's eat tacos. Because it's easy, it's quick, it's delicious. Kind of like checking off all the boxes. Dude,
I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, do I have coronavirus?
You really think you have coronavirus?
No, probably not. But I just feel like shit. And
what do they say? Like fake
itchy
cough,
throat. Yeah, fake cough.
Number one.
Fucking hate everybody.
Yeah.
Every single person. I have no toilet paper.
No toilet paper. Not to be found. Sign. Yeah, you're covered in shit. Eating animal puke.
Do I have it?
Wait, so what are your symptoms? What do you got?
Itchy throat.
As a YouTube doctor, I'm going to diagnose you right now.
Itchy throat.
Itchy throat. Okay, no, I don't think so. What's next?
Headache.
No.
No. Achy legs.
Achy legs?
Achy legs.
Achy. You got the shaky legs. Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah. What else?
I think that's it.
Well, you're missing like the main one.
What's the main one?
Like chest. You're supposed to have like a chest problem.
No, I feel great.
Yeah, you're okay. Hold on, I have a diagnosis for you. You're an asshole.
Same as last week. Same as last week. I don't know if this podcast was depressing or optimistic about the outcome of coronavirus.
Aren't they kind of one and the same?
I think so.
That's kind of what we were getting at, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? I want to bring it back. I want to bring it back to designers for a second.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this, but I saved it. And before we sign off, I wanted to, maybe this would be helpful, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, and we could just talk through it one more time. So, the podcast Makers of Sport, which is really great. They talk to a lot of designers in sports and shit like that, and they're always posting cool shit or whatever. I noticed today on Instagram they have 5 tips for remote working. So I wanted to read them and check them out. Makers of Sport on Instagram or Twitter, whatever. So many good episodes, so much good shit on there. But like, still, everybody does it differently, So like when I look at this, I'm just like, yeah, well, duh. But I thought it was helpful and interesting to discuss really quick. So the first one, right? Designate a specific space in your home for work. So this is like, you need your working space. Now for me, when we moved out of the city and bought a house, the first thing I did was find us a working space. But the problem with my working space was it was right next to the living room. So if anyone was ever watching TV or people came over and I was working or some shit like that, or even when I wanted to sit in the living room and watch TV, I could still see my desk from the couch, which completely made it impossible to separate life from work. So number one, I think this is if you have the ability to create a space, a working space for yourself and keep it separate from your living space, that's key. Number one, it's a good way to keep work life and home life separate. What do you think about that?
I've even done this because I freelance and then I have a 9-to-5 that now I'm working from home. I have 2 spaces.
Right.
I've literally converted like a closet into like my 9-to-5.
Right.
So it doesn't wreck my freelancing.
Nice.
So I've got 3 spaces.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so the next one that they have is use headphones or something else to signify you're at work. So the guy who runs Makers of Sport, Adam, he says, I wear headphones at my desk only when I'm working. This signifies to my family that I should be not bothered, and also allows my mind to associate the headphones with being at work. So this one, I don't know. I could take or leave this one because sometimes it's like hard for me to either listen to music or to tell anyone around that I am not to be spoken to.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do with your little daughter?
I can't do that. I mean, she's just gonna puke all over if I do that anyway. And
for me, it's me and Aaron, and Aaron's busier than I am. So
right. So it's
me bothering her.
Yeah, right, exactly.
She's got to figure it out.
Yeah, she's got to figure out how to keep you away.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like there's no easy way to designate I'm working versus I'm not working. If you're home, you're there. It's what are you gonna do? So for me, I don't have any advice for that. This could work for some people, but like also I'm not sitting here for 12 hours with headphones on. I just can't do it.
Doesn't work for me.
I don't even think when I listen to music too, if I have the ability to, I'm jacking speakers up all over the place, like to like 10. Yeah. I want it in the room. That's how I zone out, and that's how I kind of get in them. Like if it's to the point where I can't hear, where I can't feel the silence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I can feel the noise, then it's easier for me to zone out and space out. So like I need that. And I would rather have it in the environment than in my head.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Let's see. What do they got? Number 3, over-communicate, check in often, but don't be a bother to others. Updating colleagues, clients on your availability or progress is a must when working remote. Check in often, but don't do it. Use PM tools like Slack, Basecamp, and Miro to collab and update clients and colleagues.
Okay.
Kind of like, I mean, it's something I think everyone is kind of like gets caught in at some point, whether it's Slack or some shit like that. Like everybody's on at least one of those, whether it's for your business or someone else's or whatever. It's like, texting. Like we all text each other. So it's like, I feel like we've tried Slack a few times, but it's just almost like unnecessary for the way we do things. Yeah,
we've done Hangout. We've done all those kind of things.
We're all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's for some
Instagram
people,
and text.
Yeah. It's my fucking least favorite way to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, keeping in contact with people is good. Let me tell you something. Video calls all day. This is something I discovered almost 10 years ago. Video calls make it feel like you are actually talking to a human being. Phone call sucks. Typing sucks. Get on a video call with a few people, sit there, have a real meeting like you would do in real life. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
And then when you're done,
right.
And then when you're done, you're like, well, I'm sick of people. I can just turn you off. You can't do that in real life. How many times I want to turn somebody off in real life is like, I wish I had a fucking dollar for every time that happened.
Yeah.
So
I do.
Yeah.
I do turn people off.
Oh man. Okay, what do they got? Number 4. Keep a regular routine by setting hours you plan to work and don't stray. Keeping a routine is key when working from home. It's easy to continue working all night because work is available. It's also easy to do laundry, watch TV, and play video games. Set the hours you plan to work and stick to them. Someone can tell you this, but the only way that you will actually do it is by doing it and trying it for yourself. When I first started freelancing, when I was first started freelancing full time, when I was like 22 out of college, I had trouble really keeping a routine. And every time I felt like I was getting stuck, I would watch a movie, I would go to the beach, I would go find friends to hang out with or something. And it ended up being just like, all I really did was just nothing with spurts of trying to work. Yeah,
I'm definitely scared of that right now.
It's not easy. Because, it's very easy to get distracted. My suggestion is, if you can constantly imagine that you have a boss looking over your shoulder, asking you when that's going to be done, having that little bit of anxiety to get something done. Like when you make deadlines, make it so like, okay, so for me, I rarely miss a deadline. If I miss a deadline, I feel like that is a blemish on my reputation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've gone this far without fucking up deadlines. Like, if messing up a deadline now would make me feel really bad about myself. So even though sometimes deadlines are arbitrary, if you set them and you stick to them and you kind of understand the fact that if you miss it, you're hurting everybody.
Yeah.
You know, turn it into kind of like an emotional response. I think that is going to be enough of a deterrent from wasting time.
Yeah.
You know, to me, that's it's hard to do that, especially when there's so many people who are new to this. But if you can figure out a way to keep yourself on that schedule, and you know what, the whole nighttime daytime thing, like whenever you can get the work done, get the work done. If you want to go out all day, if you want to just like, fuck, man, if you can go hiking all day and then you come home and you make yourself a nice dinner and then you want to work all night, as long as you get it done by like Friday, you know, Friday is the day that it has to be done. Monday morning, whatever it is, work all weekend, don't work during the week. Whatever it takes you to get it done, and you get it done on that day, you're good. You know?
It's weird though, because for me, now I'm not around people. I'm not going to get coffee with coworkers. I'm not taking lunch breaks. I'm not sitting and chatting with people for 15, 20 minutes and stuff. All that time that I save, I was talking to Aaron about this. I like have to get done projects that I like, you know, little independent projects that I said, oh, I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I like have to force myself to do them.
Well, there's also another thing too. There's your whole, you know, your body's rhythm, right? So I always try throughout the day to like literally cram work into every free minute that I have and just go. But there are natural ups and downs, you know, to the rhythm of your brain and the way that functions. So it's like when you feel like yourself like kind of coming down a little bit and that you need a break, take a break. You know, take 5 minutes or whatever. You know, blink for like 30 seconds and just kind of like let your brain like reset a little bit. Like little shit like that is super helpful. When you eat lunch, like I eat lunch at my desk every single day. I don't go outside and eat lunch. I don't eat lunch with anybody. I eat lunch at my desk, and I'll just like read the news or some shit for 15 minutes, and then I'm done, and then I'm out. You know, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be the news. Like I read about like fucking music and art and stuff like that. In sports, what happened yesterday, you know, like can't do that now, but like, you know, shit like that. It's just a good mental break. And then when I'm done, I clean up, throw out whatever's got to get thrown out, clean up whatever's got to be cleaned up. And then I sit back down. I'm full. I'm ready to work again. That part of the day is over. Start part two, you know, and it's a lot easier when you don't have someone actually there, you know, annoying the shit out of you, staring over your shoulder, because it's just like, now you're on your own time. You could do this the way you want. You don't have to like wait to clock out, you know? Let's see, what does he got? Last
Number
one.
5.
Oh, here you go. It says, be sure to take breaks throughout the workday as you usually would. A typical U.S. workday includes 2 15-minute breaks and an hour lunch. Don't skip these when working from home. I kind of disagree with this one a little bit. I think taking breaks is great, but I think taking an hour lunch is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Take a 15 or 20-minute lunch and get back to work and then finish early.
Yeah.
You know,
actually, that's exactly what I do in my 9 to 5.
Yeah, I think an hour lunch is going to be too much. It's too much of a break. You know, like by the time you're done with your hour lunch, you don't want to come back to work.
No, and then you spend 20, 30 minutes sitting at your desk trying to get going again.
Trying to restart. Yeah, I'd rather take that quick break, let the little bit like kind of refresh, get that little energy boost, and then get back into it and you know, try not to stray off of that path.
Although I did say that I'm like, usually I come home from work, do my freelancing stuff, try to get that stuff done.
Right.
I have like 4 hours, and then I'll go for my run. And I'm going to start doing my run at lunch.
Okay.
So it's like I might take an hour.
Yeah.
But then I have all the night wide open.
That's a good point too. If you could throw some exercise in there,
Mm-hmm.
Key.
Yeah.
Key. Because if you can get exercise somewhere in the middle of the day, you sit back down. It might take you 20 or 30 minutes to get started again, but after that, you could be a machine for a few hours straight because you're just like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Got energy. I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good. Blood's pumping. Everything is kind of working the way it should. You can
you do that every day?
Yeah. I do it as much as I can.
Yeah.
I do it as much as I can. And every time I go to the gym or run or something like that, and I sit back down, 20, 30, 40 minutes sometimes before I can really kick back into gear. But by the time I'm in, I'm all in. And especially if I can get the music going and I can really get into that zone, I'm good to go for 4 or 5 hours straight. Do
you work out with Brian every day?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Brian's my trainer. So I met Brian 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And he was a trainer. So it was really good too because it was like I can't work out by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I need to like be held accountable by somebody.
Yeah.
Like it just helps. Like cuz I could like when we moved out of an apartment into a house, I got a bunch of exercise equipment put in the basement and shit, and like I fucking never used it.
Yeah.
Going to the gym every day, whatever. It's just like it's a reason to get up out of the house, do something. I'm there for X amount of time. I have to do it. I got no other choices. There's nothing else to distract me. Just there bullshitting. It's a brain rest too. Not thinking about work, not thinking about like stress or drama, just talking shit, lifting weights, doing whatever, going for a run, doing cardio shit, like whatever it is, and then come home and ready to go.
Yeah, those mindless athletes.
Yeah.
Pick up heavy things, set back down.
That's it. That's it. Sometimes that's what you need, man. You just need some mindless shit, and it's just like it does wonders for your brain.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Can you think of anything else that would be helpful for people who are working from home?
I mean, along with having a separate space.
Yeah.
Make that space like what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't just have like a boring desk.
Right. Make it fun to be in. Make it interesting to be in. Make it so you feel productive in that space.
Because everybody has like an image of what they think it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Make that shit. Make it happen.
Yeah. If you don't feel good in that space, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's a good point too. Like even it doesn't even have to be a separate space. If you feel better working in a space that's not necessarily separate, and you got like a laptop or something, man, put it down in like if you live in an apartment, you get the nicest sun is in the front of your living room or something. Put a little table right there. Put the laptop on there. Close that shit when you're done. Put it away, and then that's the end of your day. And then when you wake up in the morning, take it out of the closet, put it back on the thing. Like make it. It can be mobile in that sense.
I mean, maybe you don't do this because you have your studio, right? Yeah. But if I look at like any of the book covers that I designed over the last like 2 years, I know exactly where I was while I was doing them.
Yeah.
Which is sitting on my couch in my living room. You know what I mean? Like just crazy. Being like a lazy bum, like drawing.
I've seen people do that. I don't know how you sit on a couch and draw. That's like impossible for me.
I put a pillow on my lap and I just draw.
That's crazy. I don't know how you do that.
I think I sent you a picture before of me like when I was like
it's
5
weird.
Doing it as well.
I need to sit at a desk.
Yeah.
I need to sit at a desk. I have to sit at a desk. It's the only way I can draw effectively.
What about like your kitchen table?
It's not as good.
See, growing up, like that's where I drew. So like,
yeah,
there was like the couch or my kitchen table. So it was like any of those.
I had a desk and I also had a drafting board that my parents got me that I used to draw at. Yeah, because my mom's an artist, and like.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, like we had artists in the family, like a lot of artists in the family. So like she knew the shit to get.
Yeah.
And I got one of those when I was a kid, and I would do a lot of work on them. I mean, up until my early 20s, I still used it. And then, then we like my wife and I started moving around and stuff, so I couldn't really do anything with it, but it was good, nice elevated surface, easy to work with and shit like that. But now it's just I got to, there's huge desks in here, so I like to work at the desks.
I like my couch or my bed, which seems so weird, man.
It sounds like the two worst places to draw.
Yeah. Although I do have like an office and a second office.
Is that why you fall asleep all the time in the middle of projects?
Yeah, probably.
Not even joking. This fucking guy always falling asleep in the middle of projects. We're right in the middle of something, and then he just stops responding to me. And I'm like,
that's
hello?
Amazing.
Hello.
Sometimes that's like on the couch, and I'll be like, I think you do this too because you fall asleep a lot.
Yeah, I do.
And you know where you like just like, I'm just gonna go lay down for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna come back and then you just never wake back up.
I mean, I was for a while there before the baby was born. I was actually pretty good at it. I was able to do the let me go lay down for 5 minutes and then get up.
Yeah.
Or even take like a power nap at like midnight.
Yeah.
Not anymore. When I get to the point where I'm like I have to lay down, I'm not getting up.
Yeah. I kind of hate that about myself. Like I know that it's also like if I have to get up for something,
yeah,
a call, like to finish a job or something like that, like I will get up.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, I'm going to get up early and it's for me, you know what I mean? Like it's not for like,
you don't give a shit.
Yeah. I fucking won't do it. I'll be like, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and go for a run. Not happening. Yeah.
The ones, even when I'm really tired, if I know that I have a deadline that has to be met, my body will kick in the extra energy to go all night.
Yeah.
You know, I did last week. I had fucking, I don't know, 2 or 3 all-nighters in a row. Had to be done.
Man, your brain is going to be hurting.
Mush.
Yeah, mush.
Yeah, I know. This is probably not good for me.
Yeah.
Whatever. You got one life to live.
Yeah.
I'm living it the way I want to live it. I don't hate it. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. I would tell the client I need to push it back another day. But I had it in my head, had to get it out. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's I give too much of a shit about the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's what I love. So like
that's something that sucks. Is like my 9 to 5. I like don't talk about freelancing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't want people to think like,
yeah,
hey, you're fucking tired here. You're working outside of work. But people definitely always are like, you look really tired today. Or like, you know, you look like shit. It's
just
like I always look like shit. Yeah. But it's like,
you look like shit.
Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah. Yeah.
You look like shit, and it's not because you haven't slept.
But I will say, like, I never, it doesn't impede my work.
Right.
Because I'm sitting at a fucking computer. I'm not, you know.
Dude,
my job is pretty easy.
It's
what we do.
If you like what you're doing, and this goes out. This is for the people who really like what they're doing. We have really cool jobs.
Mm-hmm.
If you like what you're doing, you're gonna want to do it. You know? Like I hate to travel, but it's part of the job. And the amount of times that I've had to travel in the past few weeks and shit, even with all this stuff going on, I'm gonna do it, man. It's like part of the lifestyle. It's like it comes with the territory. It's once you know, getting on a plane and sitting through all the security line bullshit and all that stuff, and almost missing flights and having to get rental cars and blah blah blah. Like all that shit's a pain in the ass. But like when you're there and you're in the meeting, you're in the photo shoot, you're talking with people, you're brainstorming ideas, you're doing all that. Then it's all worth it. You know, it's creative, it's fun, it's something that a lot of people will never get to experience. You know.
Yeah. It's
funny too, because
the worst part of it is better than the best part of a shitty job.
Right. Yeah. Right. My electrician was here. He was hooking up the charger in my garage for the Tesla.
Yeah.
And we were just like bullshitting, and I was telling him about like, you know, what work is like, and you know, just like all kind of like he was asking me about like the lifestyle and how I got to where I was and stuff like that. And he was like, "Man, you live a really interesting life." And I don't think I would ever have said that about myself. And because it's just like I don't like to travel. You know, like I've never even been outside of the country. So
yeah, that's weird.
You know, like
yeah,
I'm not. And people are just like, "Don't you want to see the world?" I'm like, "Nah."
Well, you ever been to Canada?
No, and I don't plan on ever going to Canada. I can see Canada right now. I can see it right now. I'm looking at Canada. The wall behind you is in Canada. I'm looking at it. I don't give a shit about it.
You're going to come to Canada.
No.
At least once.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll go to Toronto.
You don't want to go to Toronto.
I got a lot of clients in Toronto. That's where I'll go.
No, you want to go to
Toronto
Vancouver.
clients. What'd you say?
Do you have any Vancouver clients?
No.
People, stuck up
I think
Vancouver.
you scared them all away.
Yeah.
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 They knew.
That's weird.
They knew, and they were like, "No,
Yeah.
no thanks."
This is like you know what? I think this is like a positive, definitely a positive coronavirus.
I think it's positive. I think all the people who are being negative about this need to fucking take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, be safe.
Yeah.
Don't go visit your elderly parents if you.
Just keep your hands away from your fucking face, man.
Yeah.
Just
I
don't
seen
be gross. Don't
was
be
that
gross.
John Oliver? John Oliver tweeted he's quitting his career to do what he now knows is his true passion in life, touching his face. The minute you're told not to, man, you just can't fucking stop.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just like, it's just, just try to, it's very hard. You realize like when you touch your face throughout the day and you're like, Jesus, I didn't even know I was doing that. So if you could do that, keep everybody safe around you, stay inside, try to make the most of it if you can. We'll all get through this together.
Or we won't, and then it won't matter.
And then who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to be rotting at some point, so whatever.
Yeah. Better today than tomorrow.
Would you rather rot now or rot later? That's what it comes down to. Some people prefer now. Brent is one of those people.
Do you want a ripe banana, or do you want a banana that's a little bit brown? You can make banana bread.
Soggy ass banana.
Yeah.
Would you like a bowl of milk to dip bread into or not? Oh man, I don't even know. Is it worth telling people to rate and review?
Rate and review. If you're alive, say I listened to this episode. I'm surviving.
I made it.
Covid-19 2020.
Yeah, COVID. Should they change it? Should they change it to COVID-20?
COVID. I feel like they should, right?
Because that's what the 19 is for. Because it started in 19. Yeah. Or is that like a very Western Hemisphere way of looking at it? It's like, well, it didn't bother me till 2020.
It's ours now.
Yeah.
It's ours now. Yeah.
I'm owning this shit.
You invented it, but fucking we do it way better.
I'm gonna get like a custom basketball jersey that says COVID on the front and just says 20 on the back. And then for the name on top, it just says "fuck you."
I'm gonna say it now. I'm definitely gonna survive this thing, even if it mutates. 100% not going to perish.
I feel like you're gonna survive it. I do feel like you will contract it though.
I think there's
a good chance that you're a coronavirus type of guy.
You know what?
Yeah.
I do want it, is the thing.
I know you want it. Yeah. You're gonna stand on the street and be like, anybody, hook me up.
Like, have you seen the COVID challenge? What people are doing on social media?
No.
In airports and stuff, licking handles.
Are you serious? That's a thing?
That's a thing. Filming themselves licking handles.
God, those people all deserve to die.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking
like I'm
idiots.
joking about it.
Yeah.
Like I do want it, but I wouldn't go do. You know what I mean?
That is
I'm
so.
not gonna...
Oh my God, that is so stupid. I hate the internet. I hate the world. I hate everybody. You know what? I hope everybody catches it and dies.
Do you remember? Sorry, man, to derail there. Do you remember when people were planking?
Yeah, I remember.
And that guy died.
Garbage. Somebody died planking.
Somebody died, and you know what? This might be controversial.
Yeah,
deserved it.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say something that might be controversial too. When the universe wants you gone, it'll find a way.
Planking was his.
If you're not made to contribute to this universe like everybody else is, it'll find a way to get rid of you. It will.
Sometimes you really help it.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, well, I hope I don't get it. I feel like if I get it, I'm not going to be, I'm not scared of it. I'm more scared of the human beings around losing their minds over it.
Yeah.
But
dude, this is the first time where like I was sick, and I was like, I had to tell people, and you feel like super weird about it. I'm like, don't worry, I don't have COVID.
But you don't know that.
I don't know that,
Dude,
but
you
I
don't
mean,
know
like,
that. And it's so funny too, because someone asked me a couple of days ago. They were like, "Do you have this? Did you blah 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 blah?" I forget where I was, and I was like, "No, I don't know." Because how many people? There's also the people that don't have any symptoms.
mm-hmm.
I was in all these airports, man. People were breathing on my face and people sneezing into the vents inside of like airplanes, and then it shoots out into the vent in your face from like 10 rows back.
That's crazy. Like the cruise ships that they were not allowing people off of and stuff.
Yeah.
Quarantining, I guess.
Yeah.
That's something that they were saying too, is they should have let them off and quarantined them separately, because leaving them on, they're all just guaranteed to get it.
Right.
So that's kind of scary.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have it or not. And then I don't know if I totally have it or not either, because like if I gave it to my kids, a lot of the times the kids are like asymptomatic too.
Yeah.
This whole house could be infected right now. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, is like, do I have it right now and I'm just not experiencing? I'm just getting like, like a headache and shit like that.
And there's also just like, was that my allergies? My chest hurt a little bit the other day. Was when I was coughing. Like, am I sick? I don't know.
And how long has this been going on? And they're saying obviously like it's gonna be like you don't know. Even though we have our first case here, it's like it's probably been here for a while.
And then there's also been a lot of people in. It's so funny, from the fall until like early January, I had a lot of people that I knew, even like relatives, family members, friends, and stuff, that have all had like weird illnesses that have either traveled or and like weird shit where it's just like that totally could have been it. Totally.
Yeah, my brother went to Florida, came home, had like he said it was like the worst flu he's ever had.
Yeah.
And that was right at that exact same time. He actually passed through like Vancouver and Toronto, I believe.
Yeah.
Right at the time that they said like, and he had a horrible flu, and he just like isolated himself.
Right.
This was before anyone was saying to isolate yourself. He just didn't. He said he was so sick he just didn't leave his house.
Yeah.
Maybe he got it. Maybe I got it from him.
You just don't know, man, because you don't know who you're running into.
Yeah.
Maybe there's somebody from Asia that was like on the same flight or in the same store as you or something. You don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's so, but you don't necessarily have to pass it on. You don't have to be the patient zero for your town.
Yeah. I mean, I want to pass it on though. So
I know you do, Brent.
I care about sharing.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
No, just kidding. I just want to get it, and then I'll isolate myself. I just want to get it.
For what reason?
So that, I'm going to be ahead of the curve, and I'm going to be vaccinated. Nature's vaccination.
Yeah, but they don't know if that's actually like, they don't know if you're going to get, have an immunity to it once it's gone. They don't know shit about it yet.
Yeah.
Because everyone like really dragged their feet on this one.
Yeah. I think isn't that how it works? Like, you'll definitely get immunity to this strain.
I don't think definite is the word to use.
Well, I mean, won't you die?
Dr. YouTube can tell you.
Yeah,
you can't use the word definite.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I'm
not going to die. Maybe, you know what? Maybe 5 years from now, every single person that got coronavirus fucking dies.
Maybe.
It's just a ticking time bomb.
Imagine that. Dude, I was thinking about that too. Like, what if it's like, oh, okay, it's like this and blah, blah, blah. But like part of the virus is like in 3 years from now, you grow teeth out of your forehead and then have a horrible death. Like, it could be that. You don't know that.
The horrible teeth thing just makes me want to die. So the fact that I'm going to die right after is fucking great.
That's the way I want to go.
I want to die. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like for anyone who's out there who's just like, oh, you shouldn't laugh about this. People are dying right now. It's just like this is how you cope with the possibility that some bad shit's about to happen.
Yeah.
So
it's like, of course, we don't want people to die.
Yeah. If you can't laugh about it, I mean, you're gonna drive yourself nuts. You got to at least laugh about it a little bit. You can shit. We're still worried about it, but like, what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna.
I mean, laughing at it is you're aware of it,
right? Listen, if I had a vacuum like a Ghostbusters fucking proton pack and I could go around and shoot all the friggin' things with a ray gun or something and just get rid of it, I would. But I can't do that. So get off my back.
What if you had one that could make it stronger?
It depends where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certain areas, I'd be like,
My neighbors. The guy with the fucking dog.
With the dog. You just get like one really big germ that just like rolls into his house.
If that guy's listening.
Yeah.
Not that he would be.
Yeah. The funny thing is too is like the amount of emails that I've been getting from every place in existence. It's just like, this is how we're dealing with COVID-19.
And they tell you a little bit about it first. And it's like, fucking motherfucker, I already know that.
Yeah, I just got an email from my car insurance company that was telling me.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah.
Because I even ever have any interaction with you ever, except for when I get a new car.
Yeah. And even then it's over the phone.
Yes. Or even
that
sometimes
shit's not
just like
traveling.
an email or something.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, got a new car. Can you register this one for me? Okay, cool.
Here's the fucking VIN number. Yeah. Don't give them the whole VIN at once or they'll get COVID.
You have to separate the numbers by 6 feet. A. 2. Oh, we're all going to die. All right. Maybe we'll see you guys next time. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any cool stories they want to share, write into us if you can.
If you have COVID and you want to share it with me and you're in Canada,
Brent's address is 123 Asshole Lane, apartment 2C. That's an accurate address, by the way. All right, guys. Are you done?
I'm done.
Have you had enough? Have you had enough talking about this? We went a little bit longer than I expected.
How long do we go?
Hour 46.
Ooh.
It's a lot of talking about bullshit.
That's a long time.
I know. Hey, you know what? We're here for the therapy. We're here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the soothing sounds of our fucking New York and Canadian accents and pray that COVID takes you swiftly.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oof is right. All right, bye.
Stay up! A frozen break that paralyzed the truth! Melting till the soul's not leaking through!